Welcome everyone, AdamTheWoo here. You have a very simple choice: to create or not to create. Truer words have probably not been said by this gentleman, Mr. Henry Timianka, who has been immortalized not only through his music, but also with this bust here at Chapman University. And it is Sunday, and it is the summer, so there's not a lot of people wandering the grounds of this school. And I must be honest with you, I did not know who this fine gentleman was until I wandered by, and when I saw his quotation, it really made me think about how significant it is to the subject of this vlog in question. There are leaders and there are followers, and Sergeant Chevalier will always be a follower. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's TheDailyWoo underneath this majestic tree. Look how fantastic this is. Life is amazing. Roots springing up, a tree harnessing itself to the heavens and then veering off in every different direction, just like we have the choice to veer off in whatever direction our life needs to go in. And the decision, the choice, is only up to one person. Honestly, what it all boils down to, it's up to you or to me, depending on who that person is. If it's me, the decision is up to me. If it is you, the decision is up to you. It's not up to anyone else. Honestly, there are a lot of factors in people's life. There are a lot of equations. There are a lot of problems. But when it really boils down to it, it is really up to you, sir, ma'am, and children. And that is what the topic of this vlog is, because on today, August 9th, 4 years ago, 2015 is the current year. 2011, something happened to me. That's right, 4 years ago to the day, as of right now, something happened. I made a decision in my life that honestly was frowned upon by a lot of people. Close people to me, people that were not close to me, the general consensus of the general population frowned upon this decision. And my decision was to quit my job. Now, I sold everything. A little backstory on me, for those who are not familiar with my life in general and my progression through this internet, YouTube age that we have grown into this circle of goodness together. A little backstory on me. Basically, 4 years ago, I quit my job. On this day was the last day I worked. I worked retail for over 20 years. I worked at grocery stores. I worked at a feed store. That was the last job. I worked at a place called Office Max, office supply stores. For 40 straight years, I was always employed, working full-time, never taking time off, going on tour with a band. I would get 1 week, maybe 2 weeks vacation a year. So my vacation time was always still working by going on tour and traveling with a band. And I made a conscious decision that I needed to change something in my life. I was in the position where I did not have anything holding me back. I did not have children. I did not have a significant other, things like that. I did not have a career that was prospering. I was just basically working a menial job, menial retail jobs that honestly, I could have gone to another retail job and it really would not have made a difference. So basically there was no major career holding me back that I was progressing to. There was no school like this one behind me holding me back and keeping me there, as well as children and families and things like that that do kind of hinder some people from making certain decisions. So I did not have that in my life holding me back. So I made the conscious effort in my mind that I would change my life, and I quit my job. I became completely unemployed. I had a little bit of debt, and in the 7, 8, 9 months prior to this date 4 years ago, I planned it all out. I paid my debt off. I paid my van off. I paid extra on my van. I saved a little bit of money. And then I decided I was going to toss caution to the wind, toss people's advice to the wind, and just do what I wanted to do. Followed my heart and what my soul was telling me to do. So I basically started traveling. I got into my van and I started traveling around. Now, I did not start traveling until October of 2011. And a lot of you guys who are probably watching this stumbled on who I am from my main channel, the AdamTheWoo channel. And you probably saw a lot of those videos which are very popular now, like the Six Flags New Orleans, the Ghost Town in the Sky, the Friday the 13th Part 6 filming locations. There were about 15, 16, 17 videos that I did on that 1 month trek in October, early November of 2011. And the reason I did not leave immediately after I quit my job on August 9th, which is today, 4 years ago, is because I had obligations to go out on tour with the band. So basically what I did is I went on tour with the band for, I don't know, 3 weeks, a month. Then I went to visit my sister for a few weeks. And then when I got back in October, then I started traveling. But it all stemmed, just like this tree stems from the roots, it all stemmed from one decision. And that decision was to pretty much cast everything away and do what the world deemed incorrect and inaccurate and a bad decision. Looking back on it, it was the best decision I ever made in my entire life. 4 years ago, it all began because 2 weeks prior to that, I put my 2 weeks notice in at the feed store that I was working at. I worked at a feed store throwing chicken feed and hay and very heavy bags of feed into the back of people's trucks. It was a very honest day's work, and I did it for 5 years. Prior to that, I worked at a place called Office Max, which is basically a office supply store similar to Staples. I worked at Walmart in the grocery department for a while. I worked at a place called Winn-Dixie for a while. I worked a lot of retail for over 2 complete decades. Look how awesome this is. But there was something inside of me that wanted to get out, wanted to see the great US of A, and see the world, and travel, and do things, and see things. Not only to present it to other people, but just for myself. Not only that people would watch videos, or subscribe, or any of that stuff. That was not the idea. The idea was all about me. I wanted to go out. I wanted to document stuff. That way later in life, like now, or even in the future from now, I would have something to look back upon and reminisce and say, I did it. I did what I wanted to do. I wanted to create something for myself, just like that gentleman said down there. So that's basically what this vlog is about. 4 years ago today, I made that decision. And you would not honestly be watching this vlog. Think about this. You would not be watching me. You would not be commenting down below. You would not be favoriting or disliking or trolling or hating or loving or sharing this video if I had not made that decision. So decisions rule our lives. And it's good to take people's opinions and ideas and considerations and constructive criticisms into play. It's very important. But what it really boils down to is everything in your life, the decisions you make, are really up to one person. Now, like I was saying, there are a lot of variables that go into these things. But when it really comes down to it, it's really up to you. And by the way, are these petunias? One last little tidbit. I have decided, about a week ago, I mentioned about a crowdfunding, a crowdsourcing endeavor, and I wanted your opinion. I had not made the decision yet, and I wanted what your guys' opinion was on crowdfunding, Patreon, Kickstarter, that sort of things. And I got a lot of very positive feedback. I got a little bit of very negative feedback. But more importantly, I got a lot of feedback from people who have been following me for years and years and years, and some of them, some of you, sir, ma'am, and some children, have been watching since almost day one, if not day one. And I got some very heartfelt comments and emails from you guys whether I should do it or not do it. And since it is my decision on whether I should do this Patreon, Kickstarter, Indiegogo campaigns to help fuel the woo, I have actually decided not to do those type of things yet. Now, I do not know what the future holds, but I want to keep my eye on the prize. I want to keep the eye of the tiger, to use a Rocky term, if you will. And the reason for this is because I'm looking back on the past 4 years. I'm thinking back to when I was sleeping in my van, when I was traveling around, when I was nestled up in a 0-degree sleeping bag in the back of my van in a Walmart parking lot, having security knock on the door and telling me to get lost, not knowing when or where the next few dollars to put in my gas tank would be to get to the next adventure for the main channel video destination would be. And it honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it brings a little bit of a tear to my eye to think back to those days. And I never want to lose that spark, that DIY ethic that is inside. Now that does not mean that I have not had a vast amount of support when it comes to people purchasing t-shirts on AdamTheWoo.Spreadshirt.com, as well as people donating on the donate icon on AdamTheWoo.com. That has been going on for a while, and that is what helped fuel the woo that is me. It's a little clever term I came up with in the very beginning 4 years ago when I started traveling. Now I did videos for about a year, so I've been doing videos for about 5 years, but I didn't start actually doing it what I consider full-time until I cast away my obligations to a 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 in that case job Monday through Friday. So I've always had support, but I don't know if I want to go to the next level of that sort of support where an exorbitant amount of money, a thing that really kind of scares me is I know how supportive people are, and I don't want, like I was saying, to lose the eye of the tiger. Rising up, back on the streets, took my time, took my chance. I should not be singing because I do not have a singing voice. However, support will continue, and I completely 100% appreciate it, and I'm humbled the fact, honestly, I'm completely blown away that it's come this far. My main channel will hit 150,000 subscribers in the next couple of days. Tomorrow is my birthday. It'd be pretty amazing if tomorrow, on my birthday, August 10th, I was born in 1974. That makes me 41 years old tomorrow. It would be amazing to hit 150,000 subscribers. Do you know that it took me almost 90 to 100 videos before I hit 1,000 subscribers? Think about that, all of you guys and girls, men and women and children that are starting their YouTube careers, their aspirations, their dreams to create. And everyone's focused on getting subscribers. Everyone's focused on views. Everyone's focused on what can I put out there? How can I become popular on the internet? It took me 100 videos to hit 1,000 subscribers in that first year. I did almost 100 videos before I quit my job and I started traveling around. And it really all kind of whirlwinded once I started traveling in the van. And man, it's just, I can't, to fathom that almost 150,000 people, just shy, a couple hundred people shy of 150,000 people, have joined into the circle of goodness that we, not just me, I made the decision, but because of my decision, it has stemmed off just like this tree. And there is a whole circle of goodness stemming up from the roots, from my conscious effort and decision. Basically to create. I had the decision to create or not to create, just like this gentleman here says. You have a very simple choice, to create or not to create. Pretty wise words. I really should probably look up who that guy is, because he definitely, that really speaks to me quite a bit. Getting a little emotional during this vlog here on this Sunday. Just thinking about how far things have progressed in 4 years. All based on one decision. A decision that honestly was frowned upon by a lot of people. A lot of the original comments. A lot of friends that I had, close loved ones, did not agree with what I was doing. Looking back on it, I made the correct decision, and those people have since probably stuck their foot in their mouth, because it did work out to the point where people are now watching my videos, and that just blows my mind and makes me feel completely blessed. So life is good, everyone. So about the Patreon, about the Kickstarter, about the Indiegogo, for now, I'm going to say I'm not going to do that. Now, what is the solution to me not wanting to do that? I have never promoted AdamTheWoo.Spreadshirt, the t-shirts, which basically help put gas in the van, help purchase plane flights to me to go to other areas. By the way, if you have not heard, I will be going to Dragon Con in Atlanta in less than a month, 3 weeks. I will be going to Atlanta for a week in downtown Atlanta. I'll be doing that. I'll also be going to Gatlinburg first week in November, and I will be going to Central Florida for 2 weeks at the end of December. So that are my travel plans through the end of the year, as well as maybe before Dragon Con, maybe even next week, I might be embarking on a 2 to 3, maybe 4-day road trip in my van out to a few different states. Arizona, maybe even Colorado. I'm trying to work on the technical aspects of this. Now, how should the Fuel the Woo work when I'm not doing a huge crowdsourcing campaign? Now, I've thought about this. This is something I have thought about for the last few days since I announced what your guys' opinion was on that. I have never promoted the AdamTheWoo.Spreadshirt website on my main channel. I guess what you could call the bulk of people who watch me are not on this vlog. This daily vlog channel is more of an intimate look into my life. So I'm thinking about stepping up the merchandise on the AdamTheWoo.Spreadshirt page. You can actually create some like tote bags, some jackets, some sweatshirts, some coffee mugs, stuff like that. What do you guys think about more merchandise? If those that want to help me would like more merchandise, that would actually give you something in return for basically for your contribution. I'm thinking of steering things that way, really promoting the AdamTheWoo.Spreadshirt.com and encouraging those who really want to help, all those who sent me all these really heartfelt emails in the last few days, to contribute to that. That way you get something in return. And I'm also, honestly, I am really open to opinions on what other ideas you guys have as far as merchandising. Kind of like when you go to a store of some sort. Obviously, when you go to a store and you buy something, it keeps that store and that store's employees in business and working and thriving and continuing on through life. So that's kind of what I want to steer this on. Now, that whole opinion might actually change at some point. I might actually not do that, and I might do a crowdfunding, a crowdsourcing. But for now, looking back on the 4 years, I'm keeping my eye on the prize, the eye of the tiger, keeping my heart here and pushing forward and seeing if there's other ways to maybe fund crowdsourcing in a different sort of aspect. I have not 1,000% committed to this for eternity, but as of right now, on this 4-year anniversary of me quitting my job, that is pretty much the decision I'm making. So I'm open to your ideas on other merchandise, as well as if you are someone who fancies yourself as a self-proclaimed aficionado of creating artwork, I could use your help. Get a hold of me, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Let me know how I can get a hold with you. Give me your email or something of that nature. Now, when it comes to creating artwork, a lot of people do send me pictures and stuff. I do not know a lot about artwork. They need to be PNG files. They need to be very high resolution. Like a typical artwork really does not work when it comes to uploading it to Spreadshirt.com. So it needs to be something very high resolution. And it needs to be people that are out there who have way more of a grasp than a novice type person like me. I am a novice when it comes to creating artwork. So I could really use the help of those who actually really know a lot about artwork. So if you want to help out with creating new t-shirt designs and helping quote unquote fuel the woo, get a hold of me somehow. Let me get your contact info and we can go from there. I can always use the help in that department. So I've said too much. I was going to say I've said so little, but I've really said a lot. This has been kind of a heart-to-heart that we've had about my future plans, my past plans, the last 4 years. And it's interesting. Why did I choose August 9th to quit my job? Why did I put my 2-week notice in 2 weeks to the day before August 9th? The reason is because I worked during the week, like a Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday job for so many years. I wanted to go to Walt Disney World on my birthday, August 10th, 4 years ago. And I did that when I should have been working my job. That's why I put my 2-week notice in to quit on this day 4 years ago. And tomorrow, on August 10th, 2015, I will be following the tradition and I will be at Disneyland in the morning celebrating at Disneyland. And that makes me happy. And you guys make me happy. Thank you for enduring through this long-winded vlog. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on my birthday. I'll be 41 tomorrow. Happy birthday to me. I'll see you guys later. Chime in with some comments. I'm looking forward to reading what you guys are saying. Love you guys. Bye.